Hi everyone, and welcome back to Travel with Tom. This is our last episode in Tuscany, and of course, we're gonna make chamin or chulent because it's also Friday. So we're combining lots of the ideas we talk about in Tom, which is travel and heritage and Judaism and culture into one recipe in honor of Shabbat. So we've done this recipe before. It's an Italian chamin. We did this when we discussed the history of Cholent or the history of Shabbat Stew. And the reason we are revisiting it is because amongst all the different chamin and cholents we made back when we were studying the history of it, this was absolutely one of my family's favorites. So as we're in Italy, we're gonna redo the recipe because we loved it so much. Because of coronavirus, I've actually had to replace a significant number of the items that originally went into it. But that's what Cholent's about. Cholent is about using what you have. So let's get started. Into my crock pot, I'm adding 3 large onions, which I fried. That's going in. And the original recipe called for 2 cups of white beans that's soaked overnight. I only had 1 cup of white beans available. So let's go in with that 1 cup of white beans. But I did have a cup of fava beans. So we're up to 2 cups. But I wanted to keep the amount the same. What I didn't have was the marrow bone. So instead of the marrow bone, and I don't know what in my mind decided that this was a good substitute, I'm putting a cup of chickpeas in also. So all of them have soaked overnight, which is really important. If you don't soak them, it's not gonna work. Basically, that's about it. Into it is going my chulent meat, which I was able to get without a problem. So no bones, but yes meat. So all of that is going in. And I'll bring this, let's unplug it for a second. I'll bring it closer so you could see it. There it is. And one of the things that went into the original Italian chamin recipe was fresh sage. No fresh sage. So I thought, okay, we'll use dried sage, but I didn't have any of that either. So I'm using rosemary. So we're gonna put some rosemary in. I don't even think I've ever opened the rosemary. That's how often I use dry herbs. I usually really depend on the fresh ones, but in our new normal, dried herbs it is. It's a little hard to open. Okay, there we go, got it open. So I'm gonna do about a pinch of rosemary in there. I feel like that lends it a bit of an Italian vibe. And again, because I still don't have that fresh sage, I'm gonna put a bay leaf in. Bay leaf going in. I've got 3 cloves of garlic minced. And I could have used dried garlic here. So if you can't get a hold of fresh garlic, use that. And in I go with my water. So quite a lot of water, salt and pepper. Now this is the thing I love about, firstly, Tuscan cooking, is that it's really simple. It doesn't require much. It really is very basic ingredients. And the second thing is, unlike many of the chamin or cholents we know, it comes together in the last moment. So this is gonna cook overnight. It is now Friday morning, so by the time we get this Shabbat morning, it'll be cooked. And then I'm gonna add 2 elements just before I serve it. These are chicken meatballs, which I made previously. It's just a mix of ground chicken with matzah meal, egg, salt, and pepper, which I fried. And I don't know if you could see it, but down here, see that? That is my Swiss chard. Sorry, technical difficulty here. Swiss chard, which I fried with 1 onion and 1 clove of garlic. Now, the original recipe called for spinach, but there was no spinach. So we replaced it with Swiss chard, which is actually a really good, authentic replacement for Tuscan cooking. So just to review, in my crock pot, I've got onions and beans and cholent meat. I'm gonna add at the very end of the cooking, just before I serve, some meatballs, and I am going to add the Swiss chard as well. So follow along in our recipe that's up on the Tom website. And I want to correct myself. Yesterday, I called this gorgeous Tuscan town Petigliano. I got it wrong. You don't pronounce the G. So thank you, people out there. So it's Petigliano. Without the G. I don't even know if I got that right. But I hope you had a great week traveling with Tom to Tuscany. Next week, we're going to travel to Israel, and it's going to be a kids edition. So tune in. We're going to do lots more recipes, but we're going to make them a little more kid-friendly, not just in the taste, but in the method. So I wish you all a beautiful Shabbat, a gorgeous Shabbat, wherever you are. See you soon.